The video review will start in a few seconds, but if you're watching this on YouTube, remember, if you have a question, comment, or suggestion for me, you can post it on 3dgameman.com, and the link is provided below. Hello again, I'm Rodney Reynolds from 3dgameman.com, and welcome to another video review. Today I'm looking at the Cooler Master N200 Case. There's nothing special about this box, but it does have pictures as well as features and specifications about the product on it. It's packaged well with styrofoam on either end, and the case itself is in a plastic bag. They do include an installation guide. Now the sides of the front bezel are glossy, so they have protective plastic on that. Let me remove it. Now this is not a mid-tower case, rather a mini case, and it fits micro-ATX as well as mini-ITX form factor motherboards. This case is meant to look good, be affordable, and be extremely functional, meaning you can fit a lot of stuff on the inside. Now let's have a closer look at it. You can fit an optional 140mm or 120mm fan at the top. At the front you can see it's mesh as well as this strip down here, which includes the reset button, power button, you have an activity LED, headphone jack, microphone jack, as well as USB ports. Two of these here are USB 2, and the bottom one is USB 3. There's two external drive bays. One is a 5¼ inch and the other a 3½ inch. Minimal branding on this case, just their logo here on the front. The left side panel has a punch out, which will give you some more space on the inside of the case, plus you can install an optional 120mm fan. The right side panel has this punch out as well, but in this case it gives you extra space behind the motherboard tray. At the back of the case is where you would install the motherboard's I/O shield plate. They include a 120mm fan, but alternatively you can install an optional 80 or 92mm fan. They include 4 expansion slots, and these are ventilated. There are a couple of punch outs here. You can route, water cooling tubes and or cables through. At the bottom is where you would install a standard ATX power supply, and they include 4 thumb screws, 2 on each side panel. At the bottom of the case they include a removable dust filter, and this of course is for the power supply's intake fan. As well, they include 4 plastic feet, but each one of these feet has a rubber insert. Included inside is this bag, and in it there are a bunch of cable ties, a speaker, as well as motherboard standoffs and screws. Now this might be a mini case that fits micro ATX and mini ITX form factor motherboards, but there is a surprisingly large amount of space to work on the inside. Now sure, it's not as much as a mid-tower or a full tower case, but still very impressive. Now unfortunately the motherboard tray is not removable, but they do include a large hole on it for the cooler's retention plate, as well as some holes here for routing cables behind the motherboard tray. And there is ample room behind the motherboard tray and the right side panels for tucking those cables away. And there are also punch outs on the opposite side of the motherboard tray, so you can use the cable ties to attach and organize the cables. Now this case fits up to 3 3½ inch drives and up to 4 2½ inch drives, and they include this drive compartment right here. And by the way, this can actually be removed. Now they include another 120mm fan, but this one is at the front of the case intaking the cool air, while the back one exhausts the warm air. And by the way, both of these fans are the Cooler Master Extra Flow fans, spelled XTRAFLO. Now you can install another optional 120mm fan here at the front, so you can have up to 2 120mm fans at the front. Alternatively, you could put a 240mm radiator here. There are 4 rubber rests for the power supply to lodge on, and note the little 2½ inch drive bay cage. Now this case fits video cards that are up to 355mm in length. That is extremely impressive for a mini tower case. Now CPU cooler height will vary. It depends whether you have that side panel fan installed, from 160 to 240mm, and the power supply length is 180mm. Oh, and they do include a dust filter here at the top and the front of the panel as well. Kind of doubles as a dust filter, and remember, that can be removed. It's important to have dust filters on all of the intake fans. Now on the other side of the motherboard, as I previously mentioned, there are punch out holes here for organizing the cables behind the motherboard tray, but here is where you would also mount 2 2½ inch drives. Now the front bezel can be easily removed by pulling at the bottom, and it gives you access to the fans, Also, you can remove this external 3.5-inch drive bay if you wish to just give you more space on the inside of the case. Finally, have a listen to the stock fans. Now this case kind of falls into its own category. It is somewhere between a mini tower and a mid-tower case, but it is not a mid-tower case. It's not as large, it is not as heavy, and certainly nowhere near a full tower case. So if you're in the market for a very compact, stylish, lightweight, feature-rich, affordable mini tower case, well, this just might be it. And because of that, I think this case will go over extremely well. Now, when it comes to rating this product, well, it's kind of like between a great and a kick-ass because it has so much potential and bang for the buck. But I'm going to rate it a great, but it's on the really top end of great. Until the next time, take care. I hope you enjoyed this video review, and please note that pricing for this product is available on the 3D Game Man video review page.